HTC is growing. We are growing not only with our products, but how, what verticals we're going to participate in and how we're going to approach those verticals. And today we're going to talk mostly about enterprise. And we have a very clear goal that we want to accomplish when it comes to enterprise. And that goal is to empower businesses of all sizes, big and small, to create, collaborate, and engage with new and immersive technologies with a complete XR solution. And that's really important that we have a clear goal in how we're going to approach this vertical. But a lot of people are wondering, is enterprise actually established? Is it something that we can actually move forward with? And yes, it is. The answer is resounding yes. Because we're beginning to see firsts happening all the time, even this past year, where we have thousands of people being trained. These new announcements about different training simulations are coming up monthly. We also see nationwide deployment where you're seeing these solutions be brought into the office environment, being able to be used at scale. We see brands like Major League Baseball also executing fan engagement in a global scale where they actually have fans hitting home runs in Asia as well as in the US. But we're seeing where this is becoming a very commonplace in the workforce and in enterprise solutions. And that's really important to see that kind of progression, because it's going to continue to transform how companies are going to use these types of technologies. Now, what's really great is we continue to see thousands of companies and brands continuing to use different virtual and immersive products and solutions in their own workforce environment. And that's great because it really takes VR out of the hype cycle and brings it into the practical use cases. And that's great for VR. Now, companies have to ask themselves some questions before they get started and before they actually make the investment into these types of technologies. And that is, can I make money using VR? Can I create increased collaboration? Can I increase efficiency? And can I get a return on investment? The answer is resoundingly yes to those questions. And in the case of somebody like Bell Helicopter, they were able to take a solution where they would design a helicopter and iterate on that process, which would normally take 5 to 7 years. And instead, they were able to do that in 6 months with a Vive. Now, if that's not return on investment, efficiency, and cost reduction, I'm not sure what is. But it's a great example of how we can use these technologies to improve our workforce capability. We were working with companies that had designers that wanted to spend hours in the headset, and they wanted to be able to read text, and they wanted to be able to design that product, and they also wanted a better audio experience. So that was really the requirements that went into building the Pro. Now, talking with enterprises and talking with professionals, it still left some gaps, and it still left some problems that we had to deal with. And those were scalability and ease of deployment. Because quite honestly, having our premium VR products in market and being able to have computers at every session or every position was really challenging for a lot of our customers. So we had to continue to think through ways that we could solve for that. So starting today, we are making the Vive Focus available in 37 additional markets, including North America and Europe. And we're really excited about making this product available to both to our enterprise community and to the professionals that need scalable and easy solutions. And this is an all-in-one headset for those of you that are new to this. This is a product that doesn't need a PC and it doesn't have a tether going back to it. It's about giving our customers and enterprise professionals the opportunity to be able to deploy ease of use applications in a great product. So from a specification standpoint, this product actually uses the same display resolution as our Vive Pro product. So it still gives our enterprise professionals and our customers the ability to read text and be able to have that resolution and fidelity. It also has the Snapdragon Qualcomm processor 835. It has a micro SD slot. That's really important because we start to see all-in-one headsets, a lot of them don't have this ability. This product can take up to a 2 terabit SD card, making it very easy to update the product. And there's some more examples of that later in this presentation. It also has built-in audio speakers, and that is also really important to be able to bring an embedded audio experience. But we also give the user the ability to add a 3.5 millimeter jack, because building products for as many years as we have, you know that some people just want to add their own audio experience. And it has a great battery life for up to 3 hours of use. So we're really excited about this product. It is an incredible product. It's going to give our customers and our enterprise customers more choice and more availability to deploy at scale. And we start to see that with other examples of how it's being used, because it is being widely adopted globally already. And we see examples in education. There's a picture in here that I love this picture. There's 20 students in this classroom from Guangdong, China, where they're actually getting a directed experience from the teacher at the front of the class, and they're all able to do a guided experience together, and they're using Vive Focus. It's a great example. We're also seeing where it's being used in retail for introduction of products and medical simulations as well. Now, when we built this product, we built it thinking about enterprise in mind and the solutions that they need. We built it with the ability to have kiosk mode. Now, with kiosk mode, you can basically put the product into a direct use, a direct purpose. So now a company that wants to have a very specific experience or a very specific branded experience can actually give just that direct use case. It can also, limits customers from the ability to transition out or navigate away to a store. So it gives brands and companies the ability to lock customers into just the experience they want them to have, especially if it's a training simulation. We also have batch configuration, which makes it super easy to update the product and being able to update the software and update the experiences that you can give. So now you can actually take that SD card slot, you can take your updated software and your updated experiences and be able to move it from one headset to the other or deploy at scale, updating a lot of headsets all at once. But it's all about scalability and ease of use and solving those problems. Now, coming soon, we also have Android encryption for the product, which enables it to have password or a key lock mechanism to actually stop users from being able to access it if you don't want them to, or wipe and erase the product. So, thinking about going back to those goals and objectives that we had at the very beginning of the presentation, we introduced products like Advantage. Advantage was built for enterprise customers and professionals. This is a program that is enabling us to keep our professional customers up to speed, limiting their downtime, and keeping them working. With this, we have two versions of it. We have Vive Advantage and we have Vive Advantage Plus. Basically, it gives companies and businesses the license agreement to use the product in a B2B environment. It also helps with software distribution and updated drivers. It gives you premium service. So when you're supporting customers and enterprise customers, you better have dedicated customer care professionals at the ready to be able to help them and serve their needs. It also has fast replacement, because the most important thing when a company has invested in you as a solution provider, you better be able to limit their downtime and protect their equipment. And that's what Advantage is really about. So with that, the Vive Focus is coming to market with two price points. Today, we have $599 for developers, and we're going to continue to make that product available at that price point. When it comes to our professional and enterprise customers, we have a price point of $749, which is basically the base product with Advantage built in, because this is what they need in order to use the product. So, we're really excited about it. We're really excited about the product, the pricing, the solutions, but we continue as a company to evolve our products. And as many of you know, we have iterated on the existing Vive, the existing Pro. We make them better. We make improvements to them all the time, and the services and the ecosystem products that we make work with it. Now, we will also have, in the coming weeks and months, a new developer kit, which is 6 DOF controllers, because the existing Vive is a 6 degree of freedom headset, or the existing Vive Focus is a 6 degree of freedom headset with a 3 degree of freedom controller. This is a developer kit that we actually will have here on display for developers to test with, and for you to get exposure to as well. This is a new method for all-in-one headsets to be able to have both hands to interact with their experiences. And we know through all of our other products how important it is to actually have both of your hands in the agency and the immersive experience that that creates. So this product will be available, in the coming year with, from a commercial standpoint, and we'll have more to come on that. Now, we also have a co-presenter here from another company, and a company that we have been working with for years, where we have created a lot of new technologies together and a lot of products. And that company is Qualcomm. And we're really proud of this partnership, and we're proud of how we have worked together and the things that we have done together. And today, we have Hugo Swart from Qualcomm, the head of XR, to give a little bit more information about how Qualcomm is approaching the space and how they want to move forward with partners.
All right. The announcement today from HTC Vive, taking focus worldwide and expanding the reach in the enterprise. So happy to be here. Thanks, Dan, for the intro. So I lead XR at Qualcomm, and be talking a little bit about how we see mobile XR driving the VR market in the enterprise, as well as the collaboration with the Vive folks, in particular on the Wave SDK. So just from a terminology perspective, I think many of you have seen this slide before, but we're using the term XR as an umbrella term to encapsulate AR, VR, MR in one. And at Qualcomm, we believe that XR is the next generation mobile compute platform. And we announced last year at the HTC Developer Conference in China, the collaboration between Qualcomm and HTC Vive to leverage what Qualcomm offers in terms of best-in-class mobile processors, our hardware reference designs, and advanced features to work together with the Vive Wave SDK and Viveport, so that we can enable multiple OEMs, in fact, to leverage what Qualcomm offers with what Vive Wave offers. So I'm Hugo Swart. I lead our XR team at Qualcomm. And by XR, we mean VR, AR, MR, anything in between. And we have the best silicon, the best processors for mobile XR. So what we call all-in-one or standalone VR or AR HMDs. And together with the HTC Vive, we use these processors to enable their product, the Vive Focus, but also partner products where Qualcomm contributes with the processor, with our software, and Vive adds their Wave SDK and their Viveport. So today, basically, Vive is announcing, this offer outside of China, and we are a close collaboration partner on that effort.
So one of the things that was interesting about today's launch is traditionally people think of AR, VR for the gaming environment. Right. And this is targeted to enterprise and industrial applications, which has been really big adopters of the Qualcomm platform for going through with mobile and a lot of internal development. Right. How are you seeing your tools in this product being accepted in that community, because it's kind of a new technology?
I think one of the advantages that Qualcomm offers is the high performance processors at the power levels that you can accommodate on a small form factor device, and affordable. So these three vectors, contribute now for companies like HTC Vive to put a hardware device together with their software that is appropriate for the enterprise. And in the enterprise, what we see is that there are many, many verticals that are interested in adopting VR and AR.
So one of the challenges of enterprise that makes it also different from consumer is you have a centralized management that may need to update for multiple people. So if they have a training system or a repair facility, you have one IT guy who may have to prepare 50 or 100 headsets with all the same products.
Let me first address why standalone VR and AR address many of the issues that we had before.
Okay.
Before, for an enterprise to adopt VR, they had two options. Either use a smartphone and then put like a slot in HMD, and now you have to either purchase smartphones that you're not using as a smartphone but as VR, or ask an employee, oh, can you use your smartphone? But each employee has a different smartphone. It's not very scalable for the enterprise. The other option that the enterprise had was PC VR. So you need expensive machines, gaming specs on a machine. You have to have accessories for tracking. Now think about the IT manager you were talking about installing all this, managing all this equipment, not very portable. With the standalone, it's one unit. Offer the full experiences for the enterprise. And then you can synchronize them, there's software.
So in this solution, it now just becomes a traditional IT piece that they can do just like the phone systems, the machines, the displays they put on people's desks. It now just becomes another piece of the IT environment rather than a whole unique ecosystem on its own.
Exactly. And the good thing is that we see tremendous ROI, right, for an enterprise to adopt the VR.
And then finally, the demo that you guys are doing is a medical-oriented demo.
Right.
And it's addressing the area of stroke identification.
The one thing we know about stroke is that outcomes are directly proportional to the time by which an intervention is initiated.
When you can really utilize it in a way that can help somebody save their life, I think that really is a compelling thing.
So traditionally, what people have been talking about for AR, VR, and medical is for just doctor training. Is this something also that the patients would use for rehabilitation, or can you tell us a little bit about your product?
Sure. So actually, that's a very good point. In VR, for the health industry, we're seeing both applications targeted towards patient, like pain management, like lazy eye correction, rehabilitation, and so forth. And then there is on the physician, on the doctor. How does VR and AR help them get trained, visual information while doing a procedure, if it is in the case of AR?
Can you give us a little overview of what Immersive Factory is? And second of all, what does the standalone headset bring to making that experience work?
Okay, Immersive Factory develops actually virtual reality exercises for training and for safety at work. So we are very focused on safety and very focused on the factory and on industrial sites. And we do develop a lot with Vive Pro actually, but a standalone headset brings a lot of flexibility because our large partners, all our partners are multinational companies, and they are looking for that kind of headset in order to deploy much more widely the training we've been developing.
So, in developing the industrial training, is this a product that the trainers use first to help translate their traditional training into a VR environment and then it's deployed as is, or is there different products for the trainers and for the people being trained?
It's a bit different actually. We do not replace traditional training. We come in addition to these trainings, and the purpose of our trainings is to provide exercises because it's very difficult to recreate hazards or dangerous situation in terms of training, because it's just dangerous for people or dangerous for the site itself. So because thanks to VR, we're able to train these employees and provide them with some extra exercise in order to make sure that they do understand and have been able to follow well the different procedures. And so that's a very useful technology in order to lower the number of accidents at work.
So in that environment for the training, so for hazards, you're talking about things like material spills, chemical spills, and response. Does your system use gaming technology to keep score, or is it something a supervisor oversees, or is there electronic scoring for how they're doing the procedure?
Actually, both. The supervisor is here in order to correct the procedure that has not been followed well, for example. But we also have a direct, direct score, not really score actually, but we tag all the events, and we're able to do some individual reports or aggregated reports. For example, the reports could be by site or by country for a large multinational company. And so it helps to take the right decisions, assuming that, for example, a business unit has not done something good. They can put some additional traditional training in order to make sure that the procedures are understood and are done well.
And how well has this VR training been able to translate into real life? Did the people actually find it useful and realistic when they have to actually respond to something?
Yeah, it's very realistic. With one of them, we did more than 6,000 exercises currently. So 6,000 employees from different companies have used it.